Hey, Mr. Chu here. Let's do another SAT review problem. So I did 27 problems from Module 1, which was like a first practice test released by the College Board. Now I've started Module 2. This is my second video. So this will be problems 4 to 7. All right. So let me go ahead and get started down here. These problems have been released by the College Board. I do have 1 through 27. I have 13 short videos and one long video on my YouTube channel. You can check out a playlist that has those for your convenience, and they will be linked at the end of this video. These practice problems are released by the College Board for review for the SAT. You can also use them for review for the ACT and the ASVAB. Some will be easy, some will be hard. It just depends on where you actually are at this time mathematically. Most of them deal with algebra, geometry, number sense. I had a probability in the last group. Make sure you like my videos. It's important that I get likes and follows. You can forward them to other people. You can save them as favorites. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and X. And I have lots of math help videos for your convenience. I do have this YouTube channel link here. You also will have a link over here in the corner if you're watching on the computer, or underneath your video when you're done if you're watching on a device, on a phone or a iPad or something. I also have an email address in case you need to contact me personally. Ask me a math question. Request a certain video at askmrchu@gmail.com. So let's get started with today's 4 problems. In problem 4, it is a graph, and you can see this is a graph of a function, and it curves. Here's my x-axis, here's my y-axis. It says, what is the y-intercept of the graph? So remember what the y-intercept is. It's going to be the point that it crosses the y-axis, which would be this point right here. That's what we have to deal with, okay? All right. So the y-intercept's the point where the graph crosses the y-axis, and it crosses at the point 0, 8. So that would be correct answer D. So remember, you always write points with the x coordinate first, and x comes first in the alphabet, if that's the way you need to remember it, and then the y second. So you would see that it's at 0 on the x, and then 8 up on the y for problem D as the correct answer. So hopefully he's able to get that one right. Remember, you can always pause these and try them. So you could pause it right now and try number 5. The total cost f of x in dollars to lease a car for 36 month lease from a particular car dealership is given by a function f of x equals 36x plus 1,000, or x is a monthly payment in dollars. What's the total cost to lease a car when you have a $400 a month payment? So in other words, what have you paid totally if you're paying $400 a month for 36 months? So we just have to use the equation in function form. And since we want to know what 400 is, we're going to find f of 400. And all that means is you're going to replace the x and say it's equal to 400. So we'll write this and we'll put f of 400. We'll put it here where the x is and right here, and then we'll solve it. So f of x equals 36x plus 1,000 is our original equation. F of 400 is 36 times 400 plus 1,000. Use your calculator. 36 times 400 is 14,400 plus 1,000 is 15,400, which is choice C. Hopefully you're able to get that one right as well. So we'll go ahead and continue with 6 and 7. You can pause this after you read both of these. Number 6, it's not too bad of a problem. Each side of a square has a length of 45. What's the perimeter of the square? And then 7 is 55 over x plus 6 equals x. What's the positive solution of the given equation? In other words, it has two solutions, and one will be positive and one will not be positive. So pause this now and work them out. So number 6 is an easy one if you just can draw the square. And it's like building a fence. This is an open-ended question. Both 6 and 7 are. It's not multiple choice. They're asking how much fence would you need to go around this if it's 45 feet long on each side and it's shaped like a square. Well, that would be perimeter. It's side plus side plus side plus side, or 4 times the side, and 4 times 45 would make the perimeter 180. So if you start here and count around 45 plus 45 is 90, plus 45 is 135, plus 45 is 180. So it'd be 180 units you would need for fencing in that particular problem. All right. So on number 7, if I have 55 over x plus 6 equals x, this just becomes kind of a complicated algebra problem. So to solve the equation, you're going to multiply both sides by x plus 6. And the reason you do that is so you can cancel it out. Now, remember, this x plus 6 in this denominator is a quantity. So I multiply it by a quantity so that these two will cancel out as a common factor. And then I'm going to have to use the distributive property to write x times x and then x times 6. So I cancel on the left and distribute on the right. So all I have is 55 over 1, or 55 on the left, and then I've got x times x, which is x squared, and x times 6, which is 6x, and that was when I simplified it. So I use the subtraction property of equality to solve this by subtracting 55 from both sides for some reason. Yeah, I had that set off a little bit because there's no like terms here. That's why I'd done that. Cancels out over here, or I get a 0, which is what I want. Any time in your algebra class that you have 0 equaling a binomial, now I can factor this if it's factorable, or I can use the quadratic formula, or I can complete the square, or I could graph it to find the two roots, which would be where the parabola crossed the x-axis. So in this case, we're going to factor it. So I need the two numbers in my binomials to multiply together to get negative 55 and added together to get a 6. So the product has to be negative 55 and the sum has to be 6 of the two numbers. And there's only one possibility that makes that true, and it's 11 and negative 5. So if we want to check and see if that's really true, we can use FOIL to verify that that really is true. And do you remember FOIL from algebra? Your F is first, so I take my x times my x. The O is outer, so I take the x. Oop, I want to redo that because I need to go a little bit lower. I'm going to do my x times my negative 5. I'm kind of like drawing a face. And then my inners, I, would be kind of like a nose. 11 times x, and then last will be 11 times negative 5. So when I multiply those, I get your x times your x, which is x squared, your x times your negative 5, which is negative 5x, your 11 times your x is 11x, and your 11 times negative 5 is minus 55, or plus a negative 55. I have like terms here. And when I combine them, I get x squared plus 6x minus 55, which is what I needed on this line right here. Okay, so I know that I factored it correctly because I just checked it using FOIL. If it didn't work out, then you were going to have to redo it or use the quadratic formula. So I used the zero property, use the zero product property to find x. So if 0 equals x plus 11 times x minus 5, then either 0 equals x plus 11, the first binomial, or 0 equals x minus 5, the second binomial. Now I'm going to solve both of these. That first one I use the subtraction property of equality by subtracting 11 from both sides. Second one, I use the addition property of equality by adding 5 to each side. Well, the 11 minus 11 cancels out, so 0 minus 11 will give me negative 11 equals x. So x is a possibility, and then add to 5, I got 5 equals x. So it asks for the positive solution, so the positive solution was 5. It had two solutions. That means you could graph it, and that's the way you would start graphing, and that's how I would teach that in an algebra class. Okay, there will be 27 problems in this module 2. There was 27 in module 1. There'll be a link to a playlist to module 2, and you can also find a link at the end to the 27 problems worked out in 13 videos in module 1. So make sure you keep reviewing for this important test. And don't forget to follow me, like this video, follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. Here's my YouTube long link. There should be a link here on a computer if you're watching this on a computer. If you're watching on a device, you can find it under the video, and you can send me an email at askmrchew.com, and I'll answer your math questions. Help me spread the word. I want to help you learn a little more math. I've got a 13-year-old peekaboo by the name of Bear. Here's his picture. He's gray. I call my algebra videos Bear Algebra. Here's my 3-year-old Italian sheepdog, Brack. He's blonde. He's 118 pounds. And I call my geometry Brack Geometry. And here's my 4-year-old black tomcat Trey, and I call my arithmetic and pre-algebra Trey Arithmetic. I'll continue to post more of these SAT videos. I'm also getting ready to start a new type of video that I call Math Minutes with Mr. Chew, so check them out. Remember, I'm Mr. Chew, and I want to help you learn the math. See you next time.